Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Kevin Green. In 1979, Kevin Green was 11. He was adored by his mother, Rita, and his father, Bill. Kevin was born on August 11, 1968. He attended St. Leo the Great School in Cleveland. The family included two sisters as well, and they all lived at 2220 Fairdale Avenue. It's a very cute little house with a very high-pitched roof. It kind of calls to mind a fairy tale cottage. Kevin's dad, Bill, was a truck driver, and he enjoyed traveling the open road. On Friday, October 18, 1979, Kevin asked his mother if he could ride his bike after school, and she said yes. She said as long as he was home for dinner. So the back door slammed and Kevin was off. Kevin rode bikes that afternoon with an 8-year-old friend. That friend had to go home when it started to get dark, but Kevin decided to ride just a little bit longer. When Kevin did not come home as expected, Rita, his mother, began calling his friends. When no one knew where Kevin was, she called the police. Her husband, Bill, was out working and couldn't be easily reached. So Rita and the neighbor began searching the neighborhood. They ended up searching all night long. Periodically, they would check back at the house in case Kevin had come home. Each time they walked into that empty house, the fear ratcheted up another notch. Some kids who saw them searching told them about a creepy guy that they sometimes saw him down by the Conrail railroad tracks. Rita and her neighbor went down toward the railroad tracks. At about 8 a.m., Rita discovered the body of her son Kevin. Kevin had multiple puncture wounds to his body. He had been stabbed 77 times, possibly with an ice pick. He had also been beaten. His underpants were found on a bush nearby. His shirt was off. His pants were on, but they were inside out. He had been sexually assaulted. Who could have done this? Was there someone in the area that was a known threat to children? Yes, and that person was well known to law enforcement and to prosecutors as well. But this is before the sex offender registry that we have now. In September of 1974, 5 years before, a 7-year-old boy was abducted. He was forced to spend the night with his abductor in a weedy area near the Akron Baptist Temple. In the morning, he was forced to undress, and then the man left with the child's clothes. So this child had to find his way home naked, but with minor cuts and bruises. The child denied being sexually assaulted, but this crime of abduction was reported to the police. In November of that same year, 1974, a 13-year-old boy was lured into a car by a man who wanted to know all about the local schools. The 13-year-old was trying to be helpful and was probably flattered in a way that an adult would ask his opinion. Instead, the man threatened the boy with a knife, took him to a motel, and repeatedly raped him. He let the boy go the next morning. The young man was able to describe the suspect and his car in detail. Richard G. Lawler was arrested and was part of a police lineup in 1975. The two victims both separately picked him out. His home at 865 West Main Street in Kent, Ohio, was searched. He had newspaper clippings in his possession about the abduction of the 7-year-old. Police had not held him after the lineup, and strangely enough, they didn't keep him there, and for a while they were unable to find him. He had checked himself into a rehab facility, claiming that he had a drinking problem, and he was arrested there. They also wondered if he was responsible for the abduction and murder of James David Morgan, who was found unclothed in a wooded area near Stowe, Ohio, in late 1974. James David Morgan's remains were found in a skeletal state. Because of a lack of hard evidence tying him to his murder, he was not charged. But that detail about James David Morgan being found unclothed and no clothing being found nearby really echoes back to the 7-year-old who was sent home naked. The killer took the clothes with him, he wasn't. The perpetrator took the clothes with him. Richard G. Lawler pleaded guilty in 1975 to the kidnapping of the 7-year-old and the kidnapping and assault of the 13-year-old boy. Most of his more serious charges were then dropped. He was sentenced from 8 to 40 years, but first he was sent to Lima, Ohio, to a psychiatric facility. He was supposed to begin serving his prison term after his treatment. He did not serve his full sentence. I was unable to find the date of his release. This is very similar to the inexplicable release of Eugene William Gall Jr. in 1977. He was supposed to serve more time, but was also released. He then went on to murder 3 people in 1977 and 1978 and commit other rapes as well. We do know that Richard G. Lawler was back out and free in 1979, despite his prior crimes. No one considered the risks. Rape was not considered a violent crime by the all-male lawmakers then. Because they dismissed the issue of rape as a serious threat to women, then it also had very serious repercussions where children were concerned. On October 18, 1979, Lawler abducted, assaulted, and killed Kevin Green. It was a torturous death. And if the laws and sentences for rape and abduction had been stricter, Kevin's murder could have been prevented. Kevin Green was only 11 when his father passed away in 2011. His obituary said that he cared so much about his friends and extended family that he worried often about their safety and their well-being. It's probably no wonder after everything this family went through with Kevin's murder that you couldn't help but worry about other things happening to other family members. Kevin's dad is buried with his son right next to each other there. Maybe both he and Kevin are watching over those loved ones together now. Rest in peace, Kevin. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos and sharing the videos. Hitting that thumbs up button doesn't mean that you like this terrible thing that happened here, but it just means that you like justice. I think of it as the thumbs up for justice button. So thank you everyone who's tuning in, listening in, and subscribing. The point of this channel is to solve more murders. Richard G. Lawler is currently serving time for the murder here of Kevin Green, but James David Morgan is probably also a victim of Richard G. Lawler, and his murder is unsolved. So, and there may be other boys. So it's important to not only look at unsolved crimes, but to look at solved crimes, because they can lead you to a perpetrator that you hadn't considered before. I hope that you have a good day today. I hope that someone is very kind to you and that you are very kind to someone else. Thank you for listening.